The big cricket news overnight is that Australia, who've dominated the game for so long, have lost their first home series for 16 years, beaten by South Africa. It's good news for England ahead of the Ashes this summer. It means the Aussies have now lost back-to-back series after defeat in India last month. Well, today, South Africa took a 2-0 series lead in Melbourne with just one test to play. Captain Graeme Smith led the way as they chased down the 183 they needed to win, and this was him moving to 50 off just 58 balls. Smith's opening partner, McKenzie, also passed 50. As the South Africans moved easily towards their total, the Australia bowlers having very little impact on the final day. Smith did fall before the end. He went LBW to Nathan Hauritz for 75. But the tourists reached their target for the loss of that one wicket. Hashim Amla with the winning runs. It's the first time South Africa have won a series down under, and it's Australia's first home defeat since they lost to the West Indies in 1992. So, how has this defeat gone down in Australia? We can speak to Ken Sutcliffe, who hosts Wide World of Sport on the Nine network. He joins us live from Sydney. Ken, how has this gone down with ordinary Australians?
Oh, look, at the end of the day, Jackie, it is sport. You know, it's not the end of the world, and we've probably seen this coming for some time now because of the loss of great players, and that's been well documented, but there's also been injuries. And the fact is that South Africa are a young side, average age about 24, and they're a good side, and they came to Australia, and what they did to Australia is the same thing that Australia has been doing to other teams for so many years. They fight, and they fight hard. They never give up, and even when the odds are against them, I mean, in both tests, Australia was there for them to win, and they couldn't seal it, and they couldn't nail it, and the South Africans just came through. They were just too good.
If they lose in Sydney, it means that Australia will lose the #1 spot, and South Africa will become the #1 test-playing nation. I mean, how is that going to go down in Australia? How will they cope? You hate losing, don't you?
Well, we don't enjoy losing, but, you know, it's a fact of life. The longer you stay at the top, the closer you are, I guess, to getting toppled over. I mean, look, Australia is very rich in talent, and there's a lot of good stuff coming through over the next coming years, and you'll see that all emerge. But you've got to remember, we've lost some, you know, probably legends of the game would stand up in any era. But no, I tell you, the newspapers, particularly here in Australia tomorrow, while not quite as, I guess, vitriolic as some of the press in London, they will be taking a big stick to Ricky Ponting's captaincy has been brought into question, maybe the way his tactics have been unfolding. The selectors are certainly coming under the hammer. They've had a look at Andrew Symonds, all the problems he's had. He's out injured now. Shane Watson's out injured. Brett Lee's out injured. So Australia has got a few issues in that regard. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. But all we want to do is get to England and the Ashes next year and knock you guys over.
But do you think you will now? I mean, your confidence must have taken a bit of a beating over this one. Do you think maybe the English start as favourites?
I don't think the confidence might be shaken up a bit, but I will say this. I think that South Africa have got a little bit more sting and fight to them, particularly this outfit, than I think England do. I think these fellas they just won't roll over. They don't succumb to pressure. They're there to win all the time. They're very hard cricketers. And Australia's given them a lesson over a number of years, and they've learnt the lesson well. They really have. They've learnt the lesson well, and today was payday. All that hard work, all those floggings they've copped over the years, never having won in Australia, it all came good today because they're an outstanding young team.
They are indeed. Well, you used to be an outstanding team all round, and you had some fantastic stars of the game, didn't you? Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath. How are you going to replace these greats?
Adam Gilchrist, throw that into the fold. Look, I guess Shane Warne is, I don't know, I mean, in my lifetime, I probably won't see anybody quite as great as he is. He's just, you know, something quite out of the box. I don't know how you replace those sort of players, but life goes on, and Australia will always have a strong cricketing nation because we've got a good system out here, the Sports Academy and all that sort of stuff, and the kids love it. There's plenty of good weather, there's plenty of facilities. These kids will come through, there's no doubt about it, and I can see 3 or 4 that have been earmarked already. The IPL will have a big impact on just how this all develops because a lot of these kids are going to the IPL already before having played too much even first class or domestic cricket, let alone representing Australia, because there's massive amounts of dollars in India. But that's going to be a big shake-up for world cricket as a whole. But I've got no doubt that Australia has got there's an endless feedlot that's coming through all the time.
OK, Ken, thanks very much indeed for putting such a positive spin on Australia's defeat this morning.
Got to do my best.